Greetings and welcome to this glorious Friday afternoon in Brighton, just off of Lewis Road, driving down Bear Road. Come and join me as I talk various subjects on the way to Worthing. Howdy folks, let's clean the, let's give it a bit of a clean, shall we? Hope I didn't squirt those people on the side. Have you ever had that, when car's windscreen washer fluid's so strong that it ends up, oh, bit of a nervous amber there. When it's so strong it squirts you when you're walking down the pavement. Anyway, I digress. Welcome to the van. I'm going to be driving to Worthing today. As always, with my longer Drive With Me videos, I'll be talking about various different things. I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about today actually, but it'll come to me. I will timestamp all the different topics that I talk about so you can skip forward. I'm going to drive along the seafront. I'm up this end of town, the north of Brighton, so it makes sense to go along the A27, but a couple of reasons. The A27 is a nightmare on a Friday evening, and I always go along the roads that I can drive at 20 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour rather than the dual carriageway. Yeah, go on in, mate. Go on. You got a helmet, you know, if I hit you, you'll survive. It's always going to save my battery driving slow. So yeah, welcome aboard. So what we're going to talk about today, let's be traditional British, shall we? Let's talk about the weather this week. I don't know whether you know, but it's been bloody hot this week. Absolutely. It's probably a reason why I've only released one video this week. Well, one of the reasons. One of the other reasons I'll get into later, but there's a multitude of reasons. But oh my god, it has been so hot. Insanely hot. Insanely. It's not right, is it? It's not right. 40 degrees in London. I was in London on Monday. It was insane. Actually, I was in London at a theme park at Fort Park. I wasn't working. You're probably all thinking, oh god, he's sweating in that van. I wasn't working, I was at a theme park. We had the tickets booked ages ago. We didn't realise it was going to be the hottest day in like 100 years. 40 degrees in London. It's not right. It's really not right. And can anyone now really deny climate change? It's been a topic on a few YouTube videos that I've watched. I don't know whether it's more fascination or what, but I like to chime in and check out what other YouTube commentators on the other side of politics are chatting about. That's why I do many videos on Talk Radio, GB News, and our good friend Alex Belfields, who's going through his court case at the moment. I'm not going to talk a single thing about his court case. Let's see what happens at the end when it's all in the public domain. But yeah, many different YouTube channels. There's a guy. Actually, I'll get into that in a minute. But there's a guy that I've been checking out recently. Paz, ex-army guy. He does a lot of his channel's all sort of anti-woke stuff and all that sort of thing. But he put a post up recently about taking the piss out of someone on Twitter that was saying what I just said. Can anyone really realistically deny climate change right now when London is literally burning? It's literally burning. The grass is combusting. Can anyone really deny climate change? And he's this army of climate change deniers in the general public is what I find so fascinating. Like, I understand, go on mate, I understand people like Rupert Murdoch and that have got shares in oil and gas and big media outlets. I understand them pushing the agenda of climate change, but your average person really fascinates me when you get endless people in comment sections denying climate change, denying science. And the comment that I kept hearing over and over is, oh well, the climate's always changing, it's been changing for hundreds of years. Well, yeah, of course it's been changing for hundreds of years, but and the response I always have is, who am I going to believe? The hundreds of scientists across the whole planet that the common consensus is climate change over the last 100 years has shot up dramatically. The temperature has shot up dramatically, and with all the research, all the thousands of scientists that have done research across the globe, it's not like it's one country's agenda. Across the whole globe, the common consensus with scientists is that it's man-made. Man burning fossil fuels is the reason for climate change. But I'm going to believe Ted on YouTube in the YouTube. He's going to try and persuade me on my views on climate change that I should suddenly drop all the research from scientists across the globe because Ted on YouTube says, well, climate's been up and down for millions of years, isn't it? Oh, of course, Ted. Why didn't I think of that? Of course, the Ice Age. Fuck the hundreds of thousands of scientists that have spent their life's work researching and let's let this guy out. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Not all the way. Oh, shit and hell. I didn't realise he was going to go all the way. He probably trusted me a bit too much then. I was just like, just pull out a bit, check what's coming, and then you can go. But yeah, I find it fascinating. What was going on there? Did you just see that? That guy just shouted at that guy. Did he do something? Is this going to turn into a fight? This is a bit weird. The heat. It's the heat. This is what happens in the heat as well. People turn into arseholes in the heat. Brighton, perfect example. People drinking too much. The sun's out too much. They fall out with people and they just go mental. Absolutely mental. Just looking for fights. Just causing trouble. Not good. It's not good. We don't need it. We don't need it in this country. But you know, talking about this country, I mean, Jesus, what's going on in Portugal and Spain as well with these fires? It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts what is going on. And I just don't understand. I just cannot get my head round normal, average day people just denying climate change. You know, this is no different to denying evolution, thinking that the world is flat. You know, it all comes under the same umbrella for me. You're just denying science because Rupert Murdoch on Talk Radio told you to. And you know, I can see that none of these guys at the moment are piping up with anything about the heat wave in that's going on. All your Mike Grahams on Talk Radio, your Julie Hartley Brewers that spend most of their time saying, oh, this climate change bollocks is all rubbish. Instead, they're going on about a nanny state. This is what they're not happy about with the heat wave. They probably realise that they're wrong with the climate change thing. They're probably thinking now, oh shit, this actually, it's not really that good, is it? Maybe I'm wrong about climate change. So instead of talking about that, they're talking about the government nannying the population over a heat wave, calling a Cobra meeting because of a heat wave, putting all these alerts out about a heat wave. I often listen to Nick Ferrari in the morning, not because I agree with the guy, but for the exact reason I don't agree with the guy. It's always good to listen to different opinions. You know, I'll listen to a bit of LBC with Nick Ferrari, and then I'll listen to a bit with James O'Brien. Yeah, obviously I agree more with what James O'Brien has to say than Nick Ferrari, but there is agreements with Nick Ferrari sometimes. But that was his big thing over the heat wave, that we're turning into a nanny state. Why is the government giving us warnings about heat? Well, why not? I mean, what harm does it do? He's done a whole morning segment on this. A whole morning segment on how, oh, why is the government giving us health warnings and alerting us to the heat wave? Well, why not? What harm does it do? I don't understand. It's weird. But I've been finding it fascinating, the right-wing media recently with YouTube and everything. And another one that caught my attention is there's a guy that has a YouTube channel that he was one of the first ones to sort of post the videos of how to get rid of your TV license legally. You know, how not to be an idiot and don't just not pay it, but inform them, and he'd give you step-by-step stuff. And then he sort of got on to doing, you know, showing the video clips where the goons, the TV license goons, come round to your house and how to handle it if they do come and stuff like that. And it was quite entertaining for a while, but now he's kind of run out of material recently because the BBC licence fee is disappearing eventually. I think they've even put a date on it, haven't they? But he kind of doesn't really know what to do now, so he started doing these videos. I think he lives in Spain, about Brits in Spain and stuff like that. And recently he done a video about how he's not happy about the extra paperwork that Brits have to do coming into Spain. And he said these words specifically, which made me laugh. It can't be a Brexit thing.
Brits heading to Spain need 3 extra documents for e-gates. British tourists heading for Spain this summer must have 3 additional documents ready with them for when they arrive to use at the e-gates. Right? Why do they need all that? But why do Brits have to do this in Spain? We've never had to do it before, and I don't think this is a Brexit thing. Is it? Because the rule would have come in a lot sooner.
Can't it? Really? I mean, it's obvious that it is, really, isn't it? Whereas before we used to be able to just flash our passport, come in. Now we have to do extra paperwork. And you get people in the comment section again that are just like, they think that the Brits, for some reason, should have some sort of special treatment than other countries that are outside the EU. Oh, why are we having to fill this extra paperwork in? Why are we having to prove that we've got a certain amount of money and a place to stay? Why can't they just let us in? They want our money, don't they? They can't seem to get to grips with the facts that we're outside the EU now. We're not a part of the club, so we don't get the benefits. They just think that we should get special treatment, and it just really winds me up. It really winds me up. But this in general winds me up anyway. Spending your life listening to people's comments like that, which I try my hardest to stop doing, but it's so hard to fall back into that trap again. And I guess that's the whole reason I dislike this guy's channel that I mentioned earlier. I'll put the channel up if I remember up on the screen now. I can't remember the exact name. Paz ex-army soldier or something. He just spends day on day moaning about transgender women, if we call them women. He moans about woke people. He moans about people being woke on Twitter, and he spends his whole life moaning about this stuff. I mean, at least, yeah, it may sound hypocritical coming from me, from someone that makes videos moaning. The difference is I moan about the disgusting government that we have that actually affects my life. You know, this government that I do videos about, that I moan about every single day, control my healthcare, where my taxes are spent, where they're not spent, where they're wasted, that things that directly affect my life. But these guys, they just spend their whole time moaning about stuff that has zero impact on their life. Why does it matter if someone called a trans woman a woman, or it has no impact on your life at all? And his followers are just enraged by all this stuff. Enraged. I've said it before when I've done videos about Alex Belfields and stuff like that. I just find it fascinating, and it's such a shame that this rage can't be concentrated in areas that would be useful. Our current government, injustices in the world. Why is there so many homeless people? Why can't they rage about things like that? But they rage about whether a trans woman's called a woman or not. I'll put my sunglasses on. I'm squinting. I've probably been like that, no? But yeah, it's such a shame. There's all this energy, you know, they have such great energy. It would be really useful in the right places if they were putting all this energy into moaning about why there's so many homeless people, why there's so many food banks, why is this government so shit. But instead, they spend their life moaning about this woke rubbish. Trans women, so many videos on trans women. I've messaged the guy several times because I generally would really like to do some sort of live stream, or it doesn't even have to be a live stream, just a video where I chat with someone that does these types of videos. I'd find it really interesting, and I wouldn't be an arsehole. I wouldn't want to do a video where I'm just being an arsehole to the guy. I just generally want to have a really decent, honest, grown-up conversation and just find out how their mind ticks and, you know, why they're so fascinated on these issues. And I'd love them to discuss, you know, why they feel it's so important. but so far no luck. No one wants to talk to me. I'll try. I've sent several messages to these guys and they've definitely read them, but they don't want to chat. I wonder why. Do they think that they'd be made a fool of? Because that is generally not what I'm trying to do. I just want to have a conversation. I mean, I guess if you're going to talk rubbish to me, I'm not going to accept it, and I'm going to pull you out on any lies. But I'm trying to be genuine and have a decent, honest chat. But no one wants to do it. If you really feel like it, check out this guy's channel. I stumble across these things randomly. They pop up in my feed. I think it's because I have, you know, like my algorithm, my YouTube algorithm is so... All right, mate, off we pop. It's so diverse, I guess. You know, I watch lots of left-wing videos, lots of right-wing videos, if you want to call it that, and the algorithm spits up some interesting stuff sometimes. But yeah, the bitterness and the anger in this guy Paz is I find it fascinating. I really do find it fascinating. Moaning about Gary Lineker's pay rise and stuff like that. It's just bizarre. Why? Out of all the things to get angry about, the injustices in the world, why is it Gary Lineker getting a pay rise that really upsets you? Bizarre. I'd love to know. I'd love to find out. Have you guys seen this guy's channel? Let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I'd really love to chat. Because YouTube comment section is the worst place to have an argument. And that goes back to what I was saying, really. It's just, you need to get your head out of that Twitter argument thing, because it's not a good place to be. But being involved in the YouTube world as I am, it's kind of hard. You find yourself on YouTube, you find yourself watching these videos, and you know, I have an opinion. You'd never guess with the videos I make, but I have an opinion on things and I like to share them. But it's not a healthy way to live your life, constantly diving in. Has anyone else got that problem? Please tell me about it. Maybe we can have like a YouTube comment section anonymous club that we can all go to, where we try and give up having arguments with people in comment section. I went for a long time of stopping doing it, actually. I've done really well, but I guess it's like when you give up smoking, you always end up going back to it at some point. Not fully, you know, you can not be a full-time comment section argumentist. Is that a word? Full-time, but you can't help now and again dabbling back into it, and that's what I end up doing. I need to stop. It's a horrible place to be. I mean, I'm not on Twitter for that reason. It has its ups and downs with the having this YouTube channel. You know, it's a useful tool, Twitter, to find out about latest politics and people's opinions. It's a really useful tool to have, but it's just so poisonous. It really is. It's just full of poisonous reaction. And this is the problem that people like this Paz have, is I think they take Twitter far too seriously. I think they think that the whole world's population's opinions is what you see on Twitter, and it's not that. The world's the same. This is what I always think about social media and Twitter. People's opinions are the same as they always were, but there's just a larger vehicle to voice them now. Anyone can put their opinion on Twitter and have it be seen. You know, it's just, and it's the extremes that always come out, and it's also people that just want to start an argument as well. People sometimes feel like, let's start an argument on Twitter and start spouting loads of nonsense because they see this Paz army guy and they know that calling a trans woman a woman will piss him off, so that's what they do. You know, it's not real life. It's not real life, and I don't know, maybe I'm also overreacting on how many people are affected by this and how many people are poisoned with this woke trope bollocks. It seems to be quite a lot, but then I live in that YouTube comment section world, isn't it? Maybe the majority of people don't give a shit about this stuff. Hopefully they don't, and they're living their life. We'll see. Yeah, so it's quite a nice evening actually. It was a bit gloomy earlier. It was raining, but it's not quite as hot. I've only got the window half down. This is Hove, King Alfred's swimming club. That's the old boxing training thing for Chris Eubank. I guess his son trained there as well, Chris Eubank Jr. But that's where the boxing training was. And yeah, that's the King Alfred swimming pool on our way along Hove to Hove Lagoon.